Welcome back to U.S. Farm Report here at the University of Nebraska. Well, there's a lot of things that we've talked about this week, but one of the positives was we saw a massive buy from Mexico. As we continue this trade dispute with Mexico and with the U.S. Trade Representative's office even involved in this, what does this big buy signal?
Fundamentally, watch what's happening, not what's being said. We're still relevant on the market with this sale. I can't remember where it lies, like 7th or 8th largest sale on record. We're still relevant, and we need to pay attention to that. And we're right next to them, so we do have a competitive advantage with transportation.
And as we look, possibly for an update on the supply and demand balance sheet coming up in the October report, again, a lot of question marks when it comes to this government shutdown. So even if we do see an 11th hour deal, do you think it could still impact the October report?
When we have a crop report and we have the survey procedures that go in before it, typically those procedures are wrapped around an October 1st, first of the month window. So to the extent that we can have survey work that was done in late September before a potential shutdown, if we get a shutdown, that survey work that would happen in early October might not happen at all. Our information might be more limited. Our ability to release a report is dependent upon having doors reopen. So we run into more uncertainty. Even if we have some data, we have markets that are skittish about the fact that we have some uncertainty about what data is available and what it really represents.
Well, we mentioned that corn buy from Mexico. That it was a positive development since corn demand has really been a wet blanket this year. But as we look at what could be the next best thing for corn demand, as we see, some thoughts about we're moving away from as much demand from ethanol, is there this silver bullet out there that could be the answer?
I think if you're looking at the grain markets in general, you have to remember long-run economics suggest growth and utilization of the resources we have, and we're always going to have to look for new demand sources to continue to support the production capability we have. There's no good incentive to produce less than we're capable of. It's going to rely on a demand market to carry it away.
Speaking of demand, as we see these low river levels, I know you mentioned basis earlier, Cory, but as we look at basis just kind of fall out, do you think this is short term, or is this something that you think producers could be dealing with for the remainder of harvest?
Oh yeah, definitely through the remainder of harvest. After that, we'll find out what the weather does in filling back that river, and yeah, we'll enter another phase.
So then, knowing that we could continue to have that hurdle, what is your biggest advice for producers right now when it comes to managing some of that risk?
Obviously, if you got storage, use it. If you don't have storage, consider getting it, because our variability in weather outcomes has definitely been growing, and we need to, as an individual farm, need to financially be ready for that in whatever way that is. And storage is a reasonable method to do that during harvest.
Brad, sentiments have definitely shifted when it comes to farmers. So what is your message for farmers right now when, they really don't want to talk a lot about policy, but knowing that policy can have such an impact on their farm? Right.
Certainly when we talk about how to protect a shrinking margin, whether over the long run it's going to be true. If prices are up, costs are going to come and approach it. If costs are down, prices are going to fall to that level. Shrinking margins, narrow margins are always a reality, which means managing risk is a #1 principle. That might come first from crop insurance these days, but it also does depend upon what kind of farm program safety net is there. That reminds us that this farm bill is relevant, not because it may not pay today, but because it continues to be there over the long run if we have price levels that continue to gravitate back towards long run averages. You've got to have the tools to manage risk, and you've got to use them and be prepared to manage your margin accordingly.
Brad, Cory, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Stay with us. We'll have much more from right here at the University of Nebraska next.